Hey everybody, hope you're doing really well, continuing to stay happy, healthy, and hopefully you're making some awesome investments, some really smart decisions, you're growing your net worth, you're creating some passive income, you're taking massive action, you're doing all of those things that you've been watching videos and you're supposed to do. So something I wanted to talk about today is emotions when it comes to investing. Now, you may have heard, you may have read that you really don't want to use emotions to guide your investing. And that's absolutely true. If you're using your emotions to guide your investing, you're not using the frontal lobes in your brain that dictate, higher thinking and logic. You need to be as emotionless as possible and really being able to look from a clean slate. If you can't remove yourself from the situation to kind of see from a 360,000 foot level of the entire situation and not from the perspective of your own biases, your own emotions, and your own just personal feelings about something, you're not going to be able to make a truly unbiased, empirical, logical decision. Now, if you allow, your emotions, such as, fear, greed, excitement to kind of seep in, your entire brain is going to be focused on dealing with those emotions. And you're going to be clouded and not going to be able to think clearly. And most likely than not, you're going to make a decision that isn't necessarily the best. Now, this applies to any aspect in life. But when you're talking about putting your hard-earned money on the line, it's even more important. So, if you watch Star Trek at all, this is exactly what the Vulcans do, and it's their entire philosophy is built on it. And if you couldn't figure it out, I watch a lot of Star Trek. So they take logic and they put it up on a pedestal, and they try to purge themselves of all emotion entirely, and only use the logic to guide all of their decisions, all of their actions, and all of their thought. Now, I don't think that's the right thing to do. And emotion does have a piece to play in everyone's life. But you have to be able to control your emotions. Like I said, you have to be able to take a step back and remove yourself from a situation. You've probably heard the saying, seeing the forest through the trees. Well, if you're in the forest, you're not going to be able to have a perspective on what's actually occurring. So by taking a deep breath, and you can only really achieve this by practicing, by taking a deep breath, by removing yourself, taking a step back, you can have much more clarity of the actual situation that's surrounding you, be able to process what's going on, and take the correct action and the correct amount of action required to achieve whatever you're trying to accomplish. So where can you use emotion, though, in investing, and how can you use it as a tool? Now, you can really only do this once you've really mastered the technique of being able to control your emotions, being able to turn your emotions off, using your frontal lobes, being able to, really dictate what's going on and have a clear understanding, but then using your emotions almost like a sensor. By kind of turning the spigot of your emotions on, you can start to build empathy and try to understand the situation from others' point of view. So an example, let's say you're looking at an apartment building. You've turned your emotions off when you're analyzing, the location, the financial analysis, the demographics, everything that you do when you look at a property. You're using 100% your frontal lobes, not your amygdala, and you're just trying to analyze it based on, empirical evidence and research. But residents, potential renters, they don't rent based on logic or reason or, with a spreadsheet. They're using their emotions. So by tactically turning your emotional spigot on, allowing it to creep in, but only, to a degree that's necessary to use it as a center or a sensor. So are you, what kind of feeling do you get? You walk on a property. Do you have any emotional connection? Do you feel safe? Do you feel at home? Do you feel warm? Maybe you feel unsafe. Maybe you feel community. Maybe you have some connection. Well, that could be a good indication that a resident or a potential resident may have that same connection. Then you can turn it off, take it back, use it as another piece of evidence. Now, you have to be careful with this, and again, it's all about practice, and it's all about using it at the right time at the right level. Now, I'm not saying that you purge emotion from yourself entirely. With your family, your friends, emotions play an important part in all of our lives. It's a part of the human experience. But the ability is to be able to control your emotions, be able to regulate it, turn them on and off at the appropriate times. You'll be able to achieve much more success, make clear decisions, and I guarantee your investment career can accelerate faster. You'll see better results. So, for example, if you're looking at several different investment opportunities, it's easy to allow emotions to creep in. Well, I like this part of town. I like this market. That's where I grew up. My father's from that neighborhood. Wouldn't it be great to go tell Dad that, hey, Dad, I'm buying a property where you used to live? Well, what the heck does that have to do with anything about making money or making the right investment? Absolutely nothing, but you have something drawing yourself to make that investment for no reason other than you have some emotional connection. Well, your investors don't have that emotional connection. The next buyer doesn't have that emotional connection, and your residents may not have that emotional connection. Now, if it's an emotional connection that it's not related to yourself personally, and again, if you're regulating it and you're turning your emotional self on just to the right amount to be able to sense, what's real and what's not, that's a different story. But by being able to regulate, control, and understand how you're feeling, what that means, and being able to compartmentalize it to saying, okay, well, I felt this, but that's because of X. It's not a good reason to just invest because I know someone from that area. That way, you can look at multiple opportunities and make an actual, specific, reasonable decision based on logic and reason, not emotion. So again, emotion plays a key part in all of our lives. It's a part of the human experience, but you have to use it as a tool. You have to be able to control yourself, control your emotions, and if you do that, I guarantee you're going to see a lot of success. All right, is this interesting? Do you disagree, or you say this is BS? You have to use emotion. You're a robot, and Star Trek sucks. That's fine. Happy to have the conversation. Comment below. Now, if you are investing in multifamily, if you're interested in real estate, and if you haven't signed up to receive our newsletter, you're totally missing out. So I guarantee you're on your news feed, your Google News, whatever you're doing to get your news, you're not seeing everything. And we compile about every important article, research report that comes out every single week. We deliver it to your inbox every Thursday morning at 8:30. So go to our website, greatcapitalllc.com. You're going to see a newsletter sign-up button. Click the button. Give us your email. We'll start shooting you emails. And if you don't like it, just unsubscribe. No worries. My name is Spencer Gray, president of Gray Capital. We focus on multifamily acquisitions, particularly in the Midwest and the Southeast. If you'd like to know any more, give us a call. Get in touch with us. Have a great day, great week. Happy investing. Stay safe. Let's get out there and do it. All right. Thanks, everybody.